Welcome back. It's 8:21. Now, this week we mark National Pet Memorial Day. And although pet grief isn't widely acknowledged, for many devoted pet lovers, losing a pet is like losing a close family member. Joining us on this very first edition of Pet Talk on Your Morning Atlantic, we welcome animal care expert Ariel McTavish to share tips on ways families can navigate the loss of a pet. Good morning, Ariel.
Morning.
Now, I know you're a pet owner. Last time we met you, you had Bear with you. Bear stayed home today.
Yeah, he's off today.
He's off today.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about this. National Pet Memorial Day happens this week, and share some ways that the loss of a pet just really do impact a person.
Oh gosh, it's so profound. I think a lot of people grieve their pet and go through that whole loss process similar to how you do for a person, but there's not always that same volume of outside support. And it's especially difficult if you're a pet owner because you're the primary caregiver for that animal from its whole life. And you know, you have your pet and you love it and you treat it so well and you do everything you can for it, but there always comes a day where that's not enough. And I think that that is something that takes a really long time to kind of wrap your head around, and like knowing when to make that call if that's an option for you is definitely a very difficult aspect of pet ownership.
Very difficult. And I guess that's what makes pet ownership so special, is their lives don't last forever.
Yeah.
So that time with them is so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just looking at these people with their pets. I mean, the bond, whether you've had the pet for a short time or a long time, it doesn't seem to matter. The bond can form very quickly.
For sure, absolutely. I think some of the pets that I've personally grieved the hardest are some of the ones that I've had for the least amount of time.
Yeah.
Because no matter what amount of time you have with them, it never really feels like enough. And especially when you haven't had them long, you definitely feel robbed of that extra time that you hoped you'd have.
So if supports aren't there, largely in society, how can you, advice for people to help them get through the grieving process?
Absolutely. So I always just tell people to meet that person who's grieving kind of where they are, and just be there for them. When you first lose a pet, or when you first lose anybody, really, everyone kind of tends to respond in the immediate time frame of that happening, and then as the days, weeks go on, that support kind of drops off. But that can cause a bit of isolation for that person who is experiencing, something really traumatic. So I always tell people just to kind of meet that person where they are, and just remember to check in a little more often than you would otherwise, because it is, a profound thing that they're going through. And a loss is a loss, no matter the person, the pet. It impacts everybody.
Yeah, that's great advice. If you know someone who's grieving the loss of a pet, don't minimize it. Don't say,
No.
oh, it's only a pet. Just
Absolutely.
understand that person might be really experiencing a wide range of deep emotions.
Yeah.
All right, if you are the one grieving, any advice to how to lessen the pain?
For sure. One thing I do at home is I still try to stick to the same routine. So if I would normally take my dog for a walk, first thing in the morning after my coffee, I still go for that walk. And the first one going by myself is always hard. But for me, it's important to maintain some semblance of structure where I feel so, chaotic and disorganized emotionally. Another thing that I do is I try to memorialize them in some way, in a way that doesn't feel too sad for me. I personally don't want to set up a whole grave type situation because it bums me out. But I did have one of my parrots in the fall passed away, and I did have one of his feathers actually put in a ring. So I have that all the time, and I just try to memorialize them in a way that still keeps them a part of my life, and is more of a celebration of the time that we had together instead of focusing on the loss of having them not with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I specifically asked you, I mean, you came here representing Pet Value. Is there anything you wanted to mention that you sold today to help pet owners? And I know you do have some memorial products there, but you said absolutely not. I'm just here to let people know that we understand them.
For sure. Pet loss is a hard thing to go through, and I think socially it's definitely becoming a more popular topic as so many of us got pets during the pandemic. And a lot, that was a long time ago, but some of them are getting up there in years, and it's important to know that it's an okay topic to talk about, and it's okay to have that grief and give those feelings space.
For sure. Yeah. Before we go, I mean, I love that you have the ring.
Thank you.
with the
I love
That's
it.
a
Yeah.
really nice idea. Have you ever heard of any other ways people have memorialized a pet?
Yeah.
That's really special.
A really common one is the little clay paw pad things that you can put their paw pad in, and then it freezes it, so you have their paw pad. My vet actually does some of those when you bring them in. Tattoos are becoming more popular. Yep. I do have my previous dog's paw tattooed. I've seen ornaments. There's all kinds of different ways to memorialize them. I've seen little pieces of jewelry made out of like hair from the pet. Yeah.
Well, I think the takeaway there is that everybody can
Everyone's
grieve in their own
different.
way, and that's okay. Thank you so much, Ariel.